Vuitton Speedy bag. A bag constantly referred to as a classic. Okay? If you call yourself a designer bag collector, you have to have a Speedy in your collection. If you look at any article online that's talking about the best first designer bags, 99% of the time, a Speedy is mentioned. She has been around since 1930. This is a 95-year-old bag. She is the backbone of designer luxury bags. However, because of this, do we think that she is overplayed, or is she rightfully so an iconic bag that has withstood the test of time and will continue to do so? This is what we're going to dive into in today's video. Guys, if you're new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a self-diagnosed luxury addict. I put out videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so if you like luxury fashion, then you're probably gonna love it here. So head down there, subscribe, turn on the bell, become a member of our luxury addicted family. When are we going to rehab? Never. The Speedy has all of the elements that make a designer bag a classic or like a perpetual it bag. Okay, she's constantly part of the conversation. And in my opinion, there are three elements that go into this. Number one, it has to have a history. Number two, it has to have cultural relevance or a celebrity face. Okay? And number three, the ability to stay relevant. So let's dive a little bit further into each one of these little sort of categories / elements that I've come up with. Starting off with the history. Now, Louis Vuitton, founded in 1854, was primarily a luggage brand up until 1925, right? And rumour has it that Coco Chanel herself had asked for the steamer bag to be made into a little bit more of an everyday bag, smaller size, more of a handbag than a luggage piece that it was. Eventually, this bag would turn into what we now know as the Alma and was mass produced. So that was sort of the start of Louis Vuitton getting into handbags, a category that now the brand is really primarily known for, right? If you're not into luxury fashion, if you're not into any of this business, right, and you say Louis Vuitton, 95% of the time people are going to go straight to the bags. So, and we know that the bags are the money makers. In 1930, the XS bag was produced in a size 30. And due to popularity, the size range grew. So you had 35, 40, 45, so on and so forth. Now, in the 1960s, a good 30 years-ish later, Audrey Hepburn, iconic actress and starlet at the time, would she have been a starlet? Was she a full-blown star with a capital S? Probably, but anyway, she loved that bag and asked that it be made in a size 25 to suit her petite frame. And such, the Speedy was born. Audrey Hepburn also became sort of the celebrity face of the bag. Now we move into element number two, cultural relevance. So, if you think about it, when it comes to classic designer bags, most of them have a sort of celebrity co-signer. You've got Princess Diana of the Lady Dior. You have Jackie Kennedy Onassis of the Gucci Jackie. You have got the Birkin, Jane Birkin. The Kelly, Grace Kelly. The Fendi Baguette, which was really Sarah Jessica Parker / fictional character, Carrie Bradshaw, right? A lot of these bags have this sort of almost celebrity patron saint of them that has helped catapult them into this level of it bag status. Almost, right? So this bag has maintained a certain level of popularity over the years, right? It's always sort of been in the conversation, but it has really surged in popularity as of recent. Now, I decided to get my little data hands going and I consulted Google Trends, right? And I looked over the last 5 years globally for searches, and the Louis Vuitton Speedy has pretty much been ticking along nicely over all that time. But there was one little spike in June of 2023, and then really from December of 2023, it started to really grow much more than it was before. So, the first peak, like I said, it was in June 2023. What happened in June of 2023? Well, Pharrell showed his first collection for Louis Vuitton men's. And as part of that, the Speedy bag was front and center. We were seeing it in ways that really we hadn't ever seen it done before. I think I couldn't be so bold as to say that he is another celebrity face of the brand, but this time from a menswear angle. The Speedy isn't a stranger to the men's bag offering, and we've definitely seen sort of shrunken versions of the Keep All XS, where am I here, under Virgil, and stuff like that. This was the first time that like a full-blown, named the Speedy, a really big sort of like range of product offering under the men's selection with this bag. They were showing leather versions of it, we're going to get back to it, but they were also showing canvas versions, but in the maxi damier print, right? They were showing it in leather versions in blue, yellow, red, and green. We also saw canvas versions, but done in this sort of like maxi or giant damier print, again in those colours. These were done in various sizes. The campaign star was Rihanna, but obviously this was shown during a menswear show, so I think that this also maybe positioned the brand as a little bit more unisex, even though I'm of the belief that bags are for everybody, but I think that it was sort of positioned as being more of an option under the sort of menswear arm as the brand, even though if you were shopping women's wear you were interested, if you were shopping men's wear you were interested too. So again, I think that sort of opened up the bag to have another little moment of a resurgence. The success of the Speedy can also be attributed to other cultural moments during its lifespan. Most notably when Marc Jacobs was, when he had his reign at Louis Vuitton between 1997 to 2014, when the Speedy was reimagined under various really high profile, really successful collaborations with the brand. So I mean, Murakami, we know, okay, worn by our favourite Y2K icons, again, a little resurgence, a little boost to the bag. You had Yayoi Kusama, that was first done in 2012 and then it was redone I think in 2023. But again, Stephen Sprouse, artist, did the graffiti sort of variation of this bag and the roses variation of this bag in 2001 and 2009. And the thing is that the Speedies from all of these collections also still managed to maintain or even go over their sort of initial retail value on the resale market. Right, because they have this sort of like special feel of being limited edition and from these very specific moments in time. And while this isn't Marc Jacobs, in 2017 they did the Masters collection. This was a collaboration with Jeff Koons, where like there was Da Vinci and Boucher and Turner and Monet. I think that was all of them. Paintings reimagined on Speedies as well as some other accessories, but the Speedies are really the ones that you like think of when you think of these collections, right? Anyway, that is one that I'm like, I think that might be the next Speedy that I add to my little growing Speedy collection, because I remember it coming out at the time and I was like, couldn't have it. And now, you know, if I find one, you know, maybe that's an option. Now this brings us to the third element of the Speedy's success, and that is continued relevance. The Speedy, if you think about it, is a pretty simple bag, right? It's a simple bag shape, it's easy, it's versatile. You can think of using this bag, and because of the number of sizes it comes in, you can have a nano Speedy for a little, you just need to run around, you just need your cards and your keys, and then do you want to know what you're going out for dinner later? Wonderful. Or do you need a work bag? Maybe not this particular one in the gold for work, depending on what job you have, but that sort of thing. It could even be a baby bag, right? Fill it with your diapers and whatever else. Okay, wet wipes, I don't know, what else, snacks, whatever goes into that, right? But there are so many ways that this bag, in whatever size, can fit into a lot of people's lives. And because of that, it means that it sort of is the perfect canvas to be reimagined in all of these ways, and it still feels fresh. You can go for a classic monogram canvas, you can go for an epi leather, you can go for a limited edition Speedy, or you can go for like a leather P9 option. There is range, and that is one thing that this bag has against sort of maybe a lot of other classic bags that has helped, in my opinion, this bag stay it with a capital I and T for sodding 95 years, or a good chunk of when I've been alive at least. I will say that I do think the introduction of the P9 sort of has really helped ignite the style of bag once again. I think it sort of added another floor to the Speedy house, right, as it were. You had new fabric, new price point, and extra sort of bells and whistles and features that came along with that, right? You've got the little extra pouch that it comes with. It's got the special plaque. It has slightly different packaging, the dust bag and whatnot. It's got these, you know, little extra moments that make it feel part of the family, but also a little bit different. The Speedy has always been known to be this kind of like introductory bag style, right? In terms of the Louis Vuitton price range, it is on the more affordable end, right? If you go for the like more simple ones and you don't go for like the limited edition collections or whatever. And I think that by introducing this bag that has almost been positioned as the menswear Birkin of the brand, it's kind of created this level of hype around this that has then impacted on the Speedy style in general. And I think that because of the popularity of this, you've then had something like the introduction of the Speedy Soft. So this was introduced last year, I believe. It only comes with a shoulder strap. I love that about it. I really want a Speedy Soft. Ugh, but anyway, like it's this hybrid between a P9 and a sort of regular normal Speedy that kind of, you know, has this sort of relaxed feel. It's a bit of a different vibe. And again, it adds to the range of the style. That means that there's a Speedy for everyone. Whether you want something simple and classic that's going to be timeless and you can go to over and over again and you can run it over with a truck and it's going to look exactly the same in 10 years time sort of thing. Or you can have the limited edition version that maybe feels a little bit more exclusive that less people are going to have. You can, you know, from like collaborations and things like that. Or even when they do like Mother's Day, you know, the capsule collections, there's many of them. Or you can go down like a Speedy Soft route where it's like, oh, maybe a little less well-known of a style, but it's also still very practical. Or you can go for something like this, which is definitely a different price point, but still is an extremely user-friendly bag that doesn't feel overly... How do I sort of put this? I was going to say it doesn't feel overly special that you don't want to use it. I don't know. It's like robust enough that you can use it, but it still feels special when you use it. Why am I using the word special so many times? It's practical enough that you still can use it, but it does still feel very different and special, and the colours that it comes in, and obviously there's hoops to jump through to get one and blah, 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 and all of that business, right? Or if you really want to take it there, they do exotic versions of the P9 now in ostrich. Or, I mean, listen, I don't know if you've got it like that, but if you do, there's the millionaire version. You know, it's fully croc. It's yellow. It's got diamond encrusted hardware. There's that option too. There is a kind of Speedy for everyone and every use case. The thing is that when I've sort of gone through these three elements are not unique to the Speedy, right? The history, the sort of celebrity co-signer, and the cultural, the like continued relevance, right? You'll see elements of these in all of the long-standing classic designer bags, but for some reason I think that the Speedy has done it particularly well. It's done a good job of making it feel fresh. It doesn't feel like we've seen it over and over again, even though we have. I think that the range that exists means that it doesn't feel overdone. Because even if you spot 6 Speedies out in the wild, they might be all very different from each other. And I think that is what sets this bag apart from a lot of other classics. There is also a level of collectability that exists with this bag, again, as it does with some of the classics. But again, because of the variety, because of the size and the designs and the fabrications, you can have such a wide wardrobe of Speedies that are all for very different moments, okay? Listen, this is coming from somebody that like, I got my first Speedy a year and a bit ago, and this was it. And then I was like, how have I gone this long in my collecting of luxury bags journey without a Speedy? My gosh, I'm a fraud, okay? And so I was like, it's a great bag, I love it. And then obviously we went for the P9, who, absolutely fantastic. I could sing its solid praises from the rooftops. We know this, I'm not going to go on about it. It is a brilliant bag by all accounts. And if we compare it to, I want to compare it to like another classic luxury bag here, something like the Lady Dior. A categorically beautiful bag, but I don't think it has the same covetedness that surrounds the Speedy, or even like a level of cool that surrounds the Speedy. And I think that that's because it hasn't had a lot of these like very culturally relevant moments. Recently anyway. And this is not to say that like in a year or two, you know, the popularity of the Speedy might go down a bit and, you know, the Lady Dior may have its time to shine in the spotlight, right? Twinkling like sodding Edward Cullen in the sunshine. But I just thought that this was interesting. Let me know what you think. Are you a Speedy fan? Do you have a Speedy? Do you have them and want to add more? Do you not have one but you're considering? Do you hate it altogether? Let me know. I'm going to leave a link to another video over here in case you haven't already seen it. Have an amazing morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are. And in the words of my father,
if you've enjoyed it, tell your friends. If you haven't, keep your mouth shut.
I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.